So Red Dead Redemption 2 has been out for a while, and it seems to be one of those games that's causing this huge divide on social media. People either seem to love it and think it's the best game ever, or they really don't like it. I'm one of the few that's kind of on the fence. By no means do I think it's a bad game, but I also don't think it's a great game. When I play it, I can see that it's got the potential to be a great game, and I can see that great game trying to come out, but there's all this not good stuff about it that's kind of pushing down how great it could be and stopping this game from really being something that's a remarkable experience for me. So instead of doing like my traditional review, I figured I'd do like a top 5 list of the things that could make Red Dead Redemption 2 a much better game. With Red Dead Redemption 2, I feel like there really wasn't a lot of direction in a lot of the overall game design. Kind of like they wanted to put everything that's in every video game ever into one game. And so it ends up just kind of feeling very overbearing and a lot of micromanaging. One thing that really drives me crazy is the travel time to get anywhere. Yes, you can use train stations, but those are kind of few and far between. And yes, you can finally unlock fast travel, but you can only fast travel to certain places that you've already been to from your camp. I wish that they gave me the option to skip over the travel time. If I just want to get on my horse and ride to a specific place that I'm trying to go to, I wish I could skip that travel time. It should be my choice if I want to miss the opportunity of any of the random encounters that could happen on the road while I'm traveling from one place to another. But I don't have the time to sit there and spend 15 minutes of travel time just to get somewhere so that I can do something I need to do for the story or a side mission. And that really bogs the game down. There should be better and more fast travel options than there is within the game. Even if it's just something that I unlock slowly as I go through the game, that's fine too. But the time it takes me to travel a lot of places on horseback is just excessive. And that's one thing that I would say this game is it is excessive. Everything within the game is excessive. It's too much. And not too much of a good thing. It's too much of stuff that I already don't want to be having to deal with in my gameplay experience. Some of you might like the long ass time it takes you to get anywhere when you're riding on horseback, but for me, I'm already halfway through the game. I've already completed a lot of my collections, and I've opened up all of the map except for the Blackwater area. I find that it's already gotten really repetitive, and going through and getting collections can be a nightmare because of the travel time. Fast traveling to any point on the map that is a named point should be something that I can unlock or utilize if I want to. If I want to take my horse everywhere, cool, but don't force me to do it. And again, I know there are fast travel points, but for this game, there's just not enough. I swear I'm spending more time traveling through something that should have been a loading screen than I'm actually spending time in actual gameplay, where I'm actually moving, actually going towards completing a quest or moving on to the next story. I'm definitely spending more time traveling than I am doing anything else. And that just isn't something that I call gameplay. The second one would be customized loadouts. With Red Dead 2, there's so much attention to detail, but I feel like they paid way too much attention in some things, but not enough in others. The fact that your horse's balls shrink when it's cold. Thanks. That's not the type of attention to detail I need. And I don't need my horse taking a crap constantly either. But again, that's not the type of attention to detail that I want in a game. I want my attention to detail to be in gameplay experience, and that is where Red Dead really drops the ball. A lot of the controls and fight controls would be a lot better and be a lot smoother if they'd actually just paid attention to the gameplay details instead of spending so much time paying attention to the little things that didn't need to be done. One of those things is what I just mentioned, is the custom loadouts. I'd love to be able to get off my horse and not have to go through and customize my loadout every single freaking time I get off my horse. The last time I changed my weapon loadout is what it should be until I change it again. That's something that I feel like the developers did not think about. How are people going to play this game and how can we make their gameplay experience more smooth? It's just something they didn't seem to pay attention to or care about at all. Instead, they were putting all their time and effort into shrinking horse balls. Number 3 would be the morality meter. I'm tired of every game feeling like it needs a morality meter. I'm a fucking cowboy. I'm an outlaw. I am a criminal. I shouldn't have to worry about a morality meter. Why is it that I should care about trying to make him good and make him somebody that I want to get behind? This game really needs to pick and choose what kind of character Arthur is. Again, he's a villain. He's a bad guy. I wish Red Dead realized that it's okay to play the bad guy sometimes. I want to play the bad guy. I want to not be punished or have a harder time getting cheaper stuff at stores or going into a town and not get shot at. I want to not have to worry about those things and realize it's okay to be the bad guy sometimes. And there's just no consistency at all in what this game considers good or bad. Time and time again, you will be forced to do something in a mission, kill certain people, rob a house. You'll have to do tons of bad guy moves, but if you do it in a mission, you don't get any bad points for it. But if you go back and do it again without being told to do it in a mission, you get negative morality points for that. What the hell? It's fucking ridiculous. Also, why do I get bad points for looting a dead body I found on the ground in the middle of the woods where nobody can see me? That makes no sense. This game doesn't need a morality meter. Again, I'm an outlaw. I am a bad guy. I shouldn't have to worry about if someone gets mad at me. Who the fuck cares? I'm a criminal. There should be no morality meter. And if there is, if they force me to have one, then there needs to be a clear notification to tell me when something is bad. I can kill hundreds of people in a mission, but if I kill them on my own without having a mission for it, I get bad points for it. Or I can kill a dude and not get any bad points for it, but when I loot their body, that is when I get a bad point. That just is very confusing, and there's just no streamlined system at all to really what the game considers good or bad. Just simply making the loot option red, like every other game does, to let me know that this game is going to consider this a bad action, would be awesome. And it just kind of picks and chooses when it wants to decide something is negative, is really, really frustrating, and it's just another area of the game that they didn't seem to pay any attention to detail on. Fourthly, this game really wants to be super immersive, but one of the things that really sucks is I would have liked some more romance options. Why can't I sleep with any of the working girls? Yes, I can take a bath, and I'm okay with taking a bath and letting them clean my arms and legs. And for those of you that are like, oh yeah, rug and tug in the tub, there's nothing that happens in that bath scene that would ever make you think that there is any type of sexual activity going on. So don't try to tell me that that's a romance option. You got a bath, and it was by a girl, and she just scrubs your arms and legs. Please. I can kill people without a second thought, but I'm terrified of the lady folk and won't sleep with any of them? Like, how does that even make any sense? There's all this different options in the game, and the game wants to let you play it and be open world and just go at it as you want, but I can't sleep with any of the prostitutes, and that sucks. I would have liked if I could. It's just that small little thing. Of course, it is a small and trivial little thing, and really shouldn't have any way on the actual game, but I don't think anybody would have complained. And number 5 would be the terrible collision in this game. The collision is atrocious. It needs to be more forgiving, and it needs just a complete overhaul. The fact that I can bump into somebody while on my horse and all of a sudden I'm wanted dead or alive, I'm sorry, you walked in front of my horse. Why is it that in every other game known to man, if I'm riding a horse, or in other games, if I'm driving through a city, people jump out of the way? In this game, it seems like all the NPCs have a suicide wish, and they always jump out in front of my freaking horse, and even if I'm going at a walk speed, somehow they die, and it's my fault. Also, the cinematic mode, you know, when you're on a long run with your horse going from one place to another, you can go into cinematic mode, which really isn't that cinematic mode because you still have to press A. It's not like you can go in cinematic mode and make yourself a sandwich. But you don't have any control over your horse's direction. It seems like constantly when I'm in cinematic mode, everything's going great. My horse is just running, and I'm usually just waiting or sitting on my phone trying to find something to do that keeps my attention long enough for me to get to where I need to go. And out of nowhere, my horse will run face first into a tree. Why? That shouldn't be possible. If I have no control, the game has taken all control out of my hands for my direction, yet my horse runs into a tree? That's fucking stupid. The collision in this game is really, really a nightmare, and it needs to be way more forgiving. Also, when I do have control of my horse, it seems like the smallest little thing, it will trip over a rock, and it will die. Well, go into its down state, and I have to revive it. But why didn't the horse automatically jump over the rock? Why does most of the time my horse will run face first into a fence? Sometimes it'll jump over it, but a lot of times it won't. Even when I tell it to jump, the horse should just naturally hop over it. But no, instead it will trip and die. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. You know, as I'm talking about these things that could make the game better, it's really just focused on one thing: attention to detail. The attention to detail was put into the wrong thing. It was put into the graphics. It was put into the world and how beautiful this game is. Stunning, but just how beautiful and expansive this world is and how realistic this world is. But it seems like they put in very little attention to detail into the actual gameplay. In the end, this isn't a film. And in the end, I want more attention to detail to be put into the gameplay aspect of my game than in the graphic integrity of everything. And for those of you that want to say that the things I didn't like about the game are because they wanted to make this as realistic as a cowboy, you know, western in this time feel, I call bullshit. Bullshit! There's so many things about the game that are completely unrealistic, and you can't pick and choose. Arthur, who is the only real, I'd say, believable character in this game, they spend all this time, and Arthur, your character you're playing, is like the only guy that's actually a realistic and feeling rugged and real. All the other NPCs you run into, especially the random encounters, are super comical and super just, they don't fit the tone that the game tries to have. You have this certain tone of the story and this tone of Arthur until you encounter anybody else, and then it's kind of like hokey dokey. So in short, again, I'm on the fence for Red Dead. I can see that it's got a really good game behind it, and I can see where that game could be phenomenal, but there's so much layers of just oversight, and I mentioned before but didn't really go into detail, the micromanaging of everything really pushes down and suppresses the great game and the great story-driven game it could have been. Yeah, let me know down in the comments. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of people that are yelling at me and telling me that this is the best game of the year and it's phenomenal and I just don't get it. Maybe I don't get it, but I do feel like some of my points were fair points. I'm not saying this game is bad. I'm just saying it could be better, and I don't think that is an unfair point of view to have. But yeah, let me know in the comments, what are some of your favorite things, or what are some things that maybe I didn't mention that you feel could have done better or were overlooked that could have made this game a better experience for you. Anyways, as always, thanks for watching, and I totally love you.